Title IX was not a suggestion. It was legislation. It was mandated. It's something you're going to have to do, whether you like it or not, but you're going to have to figure out a way to make it happen.
Welcome to the home of the New Hanover softball team. Notice the pristine field, the well-maintained fence, the spacious press box, and the level infield. Not to put too sarcastic a point on it, but those are only some of the inequities the Office for Civil Rights found in a recent Title IX compliance review of New Hanover County schools. It's one of many problems the school will be required to fix. We'll look at the impact of these disparities and, just as importantly, how the school system got to this point. Could these facility issues have been addressed earlier? Who, if anyone, ignored them? And what is the cost? Not only to fix them, but the cost the girls have paid for playing on an uneven field.
I do not want to see anybody feel like they're being discriminated against. If that does exist, then it is incumbent on those who feel like they're being discriminated against to bring some information to the board. I mean, we're not oblivious. When people have points of view, they share them with us, and we take them into consideration, and we try to make sure that we give a fair response to their concerns.
Well, that policy may be the case. The OCR did find plenty of examples of inequity between boys and girls facilities in the district. The federal agency started a compliance review of the entire school district after it received a complaint from Laney parent and teacher Alan Sewell. Frustrated with the girls' basketball locker room at Laney, Sewell felt he had no other outlet locally and went to the OCR in October 2007.
There's a big difference. They get more equipment than us. First of all, they got a locker room, which obviously we don't have.
It's just basically like some things they get different. Like, example, they have a locker room. We have to get dressed in the weight room, and our opponents have to go either in our locker room or back in the boys' locker room. And we don't really have a place to keep our stuff besides in our cars or in our bag.
If we have the bathroom out there, but yet we have this bathroom in here, and the opposing team will be dressing in here, but yet we got to go use the bathroom, so we got to wait. Or if we have something in one of our lockers in here, we have to wait till they're out or whatever.
To come get
and it's just, I mean, it gets sometimes frustrating because this is our area. This is our locker room that we use every day, but our opposing team's coming in here and using it when we should be using it.
Right.
Like during the tournament, like this, the boys' tournament, I know it'd be a lot of people there, but sometimes it don't, and like it's like, I don't know, it's different.
It's like everything's a little bit, as boys, they get the bigger crowds, they get everything,
Yeah.
so it seems like everything's handed to them.
Yeah.
Where we have to go to semifinals to get even a big enough crowd for a regular game for them.
After finding a June 2007 Star News article detailing the shortcomings of the facilities for the girls in New Hanover County, the OCR closed Sewell's complaint and launched a review of the whole district. That's no small investment of its resources. The 9-month investigation involved tours of all the district's facilities, as well as interviews with every coach and several student athletes.
So I think that whether or not our people realized that we were not in compliance, I'm not sure that was a known thing. Whether or not they knew that, these were some needs that we requested over a period of time, yes, I think that they understood that, we have requested this on numerous occasions.
What you don't know, you can't do anything about. So that's how I perceive this, situation.
Ask me if I knew there was a problem, and the answer is no. I did not know there was a problem. I reiterate, I do not recall complaints from anyone coming, and as a board member, I am not all-knowing. I rely on the 40,000 parents in the New Hanover County school system to keep me informed as to what's going on out there in the public school system.
School officials agree Hoggard and Laney have needed new gyms for years. Capital outlay requests show Laney has been asking for a girls' locker room facilities as far back as 2003, when then Principal Rick Holliday filed the annual request. Now the Assistant Superintendent for Support Services, Holliday says the facility needs remain.
So the bottom line is that here's what the bottom line is. We need two gyms. We need a gym in Hoggard and we need a gym in Laney, and we've needed it forever.
Yeah.
This type of review, an in-depth look at how well a district is complying with Title IX, is extremely rare. According to the OCR, only 9 such reviews were conducted nationally in the 2006 fiscal year.
Well, the OCR can actually come in and eliminate or reduce the availability of amenities that male athletes have as compared to female athletes. An example would be baseball has lights, foul poles, dugouts, dedicated concessions, lockers, press box, etc. Then the OCR can come in until you actually meet their specifications and have proportional availability, will eliminate access or restrict access to those amenities, i.e. you will not be able to use a concession stand, you will not be able to cut your scoreboard on, you will not be able to use the lights. You both will play at the same game time, at the same starting time, under the same conditions.
You know, we took the evaluation of overall system and what the Office of Civil Rights felt like were some shortcomings and some things, and you know, we're addressing the time frame on some of this stuff as far as, you know, what can we do right now, what can we do in the future, what are our plans. We have a pretty good plan in place right now. Some of them in the time frame that is going to happen, you know, it's just not going to happen right now because the funds are not available right now, but the plan is in place to address these needs and, do what we have to do to be in compliance.
Certainly, this problem extends beyond the current administration and school board. The makeup of school boards change and administrators come and go, but former school board member George Cox says he has an idea of the root of the problem.
When I first came on the board, after a little while, I began to realize there was a tremendous lack of leadership at the top. You had departments that weren't even talking with each other. You had all the schools going in a different direction as far as curriculum. And I just find it very appalling that the situation has gotten like it is. Some of the school board members who had been on the board for many years, they couldn't see the forest for the trees because they had been on there and had gotten entrenched with the previous administration. So when we hired a new superintendent, when the administration changed, then I thought that Al Lurch, who had been here for so many years, I knew that he had seen some of these problems going on, and of course he had to put out a lot of fires and is still putting out a lot of fires, and I think he's doing a good job. That's why I was in favor of hiring somebody from within. But it all goes back to the problem. For years and years and years, the school system did not spend a lot of money on maintenance. And over the years, in the 70s and 80s and 90s, until the mid-90s, it was Band-Aid, 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 and it accumulated, the maintenance problem accumulated until Bill Hance and his staff got in there and the board committed money and revenue to maintain the schools and get them up to par. So I guess you could say that you could equate the same thing with athletics and with facilities. Here, again, you can only do so much with so much money. I guess the question is now, what is going to be done in the future and what plans are going to be made to alleviate these problems?
Those Band-Aids aren't just required fixes. Behind them are female athletes who have gone 37 years with making do by changing in their cars, in storage units, and in weight rooms. They're not the only ones slighted. The boys' locker rooms are in bad shape as well, but girls' teams haven't found a home at Laney. Instead, all sharing one PE locker room that hasn't changed in 32 years.
I wish that we had our own locker room with our own lockers, our names on it.
Lindsay Volman. Number 14, I could put my uniform and my shoes and everything there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
With bathrooms.
Yeah, with bathrooms and everything.
Oh, but that thing be decked out.
Be leaning all over our lady collars.
Just somewhere where you can keep your stuff with a lock and like your own place to sit, your own space.
Like more decent.
Like,
more nice and clean and.
Not with.
Yeah, not
that on it.
I don't know. More of ours. Like
our own space, personal space.
Basically.
Because I mean, we work so hard to be on the team and everything, but yet we still get the same stuff as gym people do for gym class.
Yeah.
So, and they're not working as nearly as hard as we are to be on the team. Exactly.
Welcome to the new home for Wildcats softball. New Hanover will play at Noble Middle School for this season and the foreseeable future. It's a long bus ride from the school, but the field and the rest of the facility are in far better shape than those at 8th and Ann Streets. It's one of several small steps the district has taken to come into compliance with Title IX. Some of the changes will be difficult, but for the girls settling with less, they are long overdue. The time for doing little or doing nothing has passed. Not understanding the law or not acting with urgency to comply is no longer acceptable. The OCR has mandated compliance, and if the district doesn't comply, it risks losing all federal funding. For their part, officials saying they're trying to meet the requirements. In some cases, schedules will be juggled, and the boys will share with the girls. Facilities and locker rooms will be used differently. In other cases, though, there are no easy answers and no quick fixes. Even temporary solutions like expanding locker rooms or maintaining fields will cost money. Bigger issues, like replacing gyms at Laney and Hoggard, require a bond. It's the only reasonable fix, and one officials admit they've needed for decades.
With respect to the dressing rooms and the locker facilities, part of that then does get into capital. When the gyms were constructed at both Laney and Hoggard 40 years ago, women's athletics was not a big issue. And the facilities that are at those two schools are below what we would like to have. And in fact, when the school system comes with another bond issue, two items that will be on that bond issue will be new gymnasium facilities, much like Brogdon, maybe not as big as Brogdon, for both of those schools, so that their current gyms would become auxiliary gyms, so that all our schools would have a competition gym, and then we'd have an auxiliary gym that could be used both for JV practices and for other sports such as volleyball, anything that may be going on at the same time that basketball season is going on. But that's going to require a substantial capital outlay, and we are not in a position to do that, and have not been in a position, although those gyms have been talked about as long as I've been on the board.
If you'll take all the athletes in the school system, they do better in the classroom than the average students. So I think the athletic program should be expanded to get kids motivated. Because when they're motivated and they want to do something, then they will step up to the plate if the expectations are there. And New Hanover County does have a higher academic standard for its athletes than the state does. But you can't suck blood out of a turnip, I guess, so to speak. So you do what you can. And this is not a problem that just New Hanover County has. It's all over the state and all over the nation.
After 36 years of non-compliance, the district is on the clock. It has until November 2010 to fix all the problems, to make things right for the girls. Those girls hope that change is coming. It might be long after their playing days before it does, and until then, they'll suit up and keep playing.
It's frustrating, but I get used to it.
Yeah, it's like after a while you can't brush it off, and
you
can't
do anything about it.
It's also like if we did complain and something did happen, it probably wouldn't affect us right now. I mean, it'd be good if it were to affect others, like after us, but
we're here to play basketball.
Yeah, I mean,
but still, it'd be nice.
I mean, it would be nice, but that's not like our main concern. So
keep on doing what we do best.
Play a game you love.
Yeah.